like a threat.
I'm a threat. Yeah, it's a bad. Yeah.
Lunch with your fave is brought to you by KFC. Finger licking good.
It's Moagisi, Bakotelo, Mmipi. Or is it Bakotelo, Moagisi, Mmipi?
Bakotelo.
Moagisi, Mmipi.
Yes.
Hi, Bacos.
Hi, Luhle.
Welcome to the good life.
Yeah, sure. Thanks a lot, my name.
Are you shy?
I think I am.
Really?
I should have taken a shot or two. It just feels so awkward.
O itse re ke hamotana be le status sa go la sa biki yone se go yone about doro shy a go nyalane. Hey, before we jump into speaking about you, how does it feel calling me Luhle, especially that you grew up with me and I recently became Luhle?
It feels weird.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, like I got in and I said, "Ke go ba tando." Ba re batama karibino ba re na ha rena motho.
Barena, elo wana ro are back to
And
back.
then she's
with
like,
the
"No,
names.
Luhle." And I'm like, "Oh, dang it, man." Hey, dude.
Yeah, no, this is becoming Luhle. Welcome to the Good Life on Yarona FM. Thank you so much for honoring the invite onto Lunch with Your Faves.
Thanks a lot.
You're definitely a fave. You've been for the past years, and you know that. But let me not spoil it for when I might tuned in. For starters, who's Bacos?
Yeah. I think you know. I think you can say it a lot better. I am a young man from Lerala. I grew up in 𝗕𝗫𝗄𝗏 for a predominantly large part of my childhood until I went to 𝗕𝗫𝗀𝗀, where I consider as my humble abode. I went through education in 𝗕𝗫𝗀 until Moeng College, and I think that's really where we met.
Yeah.
When we started off our debating careers, and throughout then I went to the University of Botswana, where I studied for the Bachelor of Laws degree. I think we were still doing a lot of debate as well.
A lot.
Quite a lot. And after graduating from the UB, where I was also 𝗕𝗫𝘁 president and Minister of Justice. I keep forgetting that.
I genuinely forgot that. Like, it never existed in my head.
Yes,
Hey?
I was UB 𝗕𝗫𝘁 president for about 2 years. And then after completing UB, I worked at a law firm, Collins Newman and Company, for about 5 years, during which I went to the UK for my master's studies under the 𝗕venue program. It's basically just a human rights related program to empower youthful leaders who are interested in social change and development, etc. And then upon returning, I went back to Collins Newman, went to Rantawa attorneys, and now started working at the UB as a lecturer of law. And recently in January, I partnered with Professor 𝗕𝗫𝗀𝗫𝗀 to establish a law firm, 𝗕𝗫𝗀𝗫𝗀 Mmipi attorneys. That's currently where I am.
Oh my goodness. And I love how you carry such a calm aura. Already I'm thinking, Bona, my life matters are safe in this lawyer's hands, because how calm can a person ever be? Let me take you back to your Lerala days, right?
Yeah.
This is you growing up and at senior school, you know, and the debates times. And if I recall properly, we had a lot of competition with Banaba Gabsa.
Yeah.
And you know the atmosphere that was set there. I want to understand. Super hot style, bruh.
Yeah.
Did you always know you're going to become a lawyer? Did you always know? Because even at a young age, you were this, I don't want to say stereotyped, but you were this very focused gent. It's like you already knew the life that you were walking into. So you already, at a young age, started living like that person that you are, the person that you are now. Did you always have that dream? Or sanso or loko kaulo?
Yeah. Look, I'll be very honest, Tando. Growing up in a rural village is quite a tough experience. It's toughening. As toughening as the city is, the village has its own way of toughening people, and part of which is the lack of exposure. I wasn't exposed a lot to careers and lifestyles. I didn't know much about being a lawyer anyway. I just knew that the track I was on, which is education, was the only way out of that place, because honestly I don't like the bundus, but I knew that that's the only way I can get out. If I do well at school, if I focus a lot at school, I'm gonna go wherever I want to go. And it came upon the discovery when I was at junior school, okay, I can actually speak in public. I was very shy. Very, very shy.
Very.
And it didn't help that I grew up in a village where being too vocal is not a thing, you know. So I met one of my teachers, 𝗕𝗰𝗁𝗪𝗓𝗔, quite a favorite of mine. And she said, you know what, you should take this seriously. I would read a lot, I would research a lot, and then I met guys like you and learned to establish that aspect of it, which is confidence. And once I did that, I was able to know, okay, there's a thing called a lawyer. What does a lawyer need to do? He needs to throw people around and bully them. Are you going to bully them with that confidence? No, never.
Yeah.
And that's how I embraced it, learned it, the focus especially, and took debate seriously. So from Bomwe in college, which is about 12, 13 years ago, that's when I knew seriously that, this is my track. This is where I want to go.
And I like that you touched on challenges of staying in rural areas. There is just no exposure. You can never learn. We only grew up. That's why everybody wants to be lepodisi. I like that. Now take us through the challenges of now you being in the national team of Botswana, representing Botswana. I remember we went to Durban and we were with kids from countries I can't even pronounce. At some point I was wondering, is it me? Is it the Atlas? Because I've never seen that country. Where these people from?
I recall those guys being annoyed that the food at the airport sucked, eh? And I was like, yo.
You guys flew in? Let's start there.
I'm talking about food. My nigga, do you know how my back hurts from that drive? All the way from Palape to Durban.
15 hours drive.
Yeah.
It is crazy. Right, now, how was the challenges? You officially, let's take it from the competitions to the finally making it to the debate team, Botswana national team, and now us going abroad. How was that for you?
Yeah. It was quite interesting because we started off at 𝗕𝗫𝘁𝘀𝘀𝘀, right?
Yeah.
And I thought it was just a competition.
Same.
It's going. And next thing they're selecting for the nationals, we pulled through. And I recall there was a powerful team from Mpapa. I think 𝗕𝗰𝗁𝗪𝗪, there was a powerful team from Maruapula
and Swaneng,
and Matterhorn Bay, definitely.
Lotsane, yeah.
It was super powerhouses, and I think they're in very far places at the moment.
Yeah.
Those guys from the so it was quite intimidating. I was starstruck. What the hell am I gonna do here? But as we progressed. And I think we went all the way to the finals. Then they got to select their top speakers from there. And then came the greater challenge, the greater experience, where you now had to keep up with being in the team. Because I don't think that debate has received a lot of financial support from the onset. So we had to fund it. I know you recall that as well, because we had to pay for when we come to for the trainings and preparation for the trip. We had to pay for the boarding fees to go there, etc. And mind you, all my mom did at that time, and which is still what she does now, is we so she was wondering but she was really interested in the idea that for the first time in your life, you're gonna cross a border and it's not me taking you out, it's you taking yourself out, So she went all the way out. She would sweep the Jarata and everything until we got the money and left. And it I think that really just humbled me a lot to know my mom is banking on this thing to see why she's worked so hard, So those were part of the challenges. You'd get there, people brand new phones, they're happy, they have tons and tons of pocket money, and you're just like, okay, but the experience was awesome.
And let me tell you one thing I have not healed from. I have not healed from the fact that as we left Botswana to Durban to go represent the country, you were not in the top 3 that's gonna represent you. I was on the team, and as soon as we got there, those, can I just say pedophile on radio? I can say that, right?
You
can I lawyer straight? You know, and they were trying to make a move on us as the girls. And for sure, I mean, I was a tiny little girl. I did not understand how does an older man trying to share me say, why are you breathing down my neck? And I was on full 4 at that time. And next thing in the morning, I'm told, now you're not going to be in the team because it's taken. I'm like, what? Wait, you want to talk to me? Just talk.
Why you fighting, bruh? Why you fighting? I record that.
But yeah, I like that. And I want to, now let's jump into your career right now as a lawyer. You you actually coming to tertiary school.
Yeah.
And deciding what you want to study. Can you say there's something that you learned at the national competitions? Because I think that's where we met not only children of different calibers, but literally children of different countries, different leadership, different governance, you know, even the articulation. Researcher, same place, I think. I mean, when the motion was about Syria, we all experienced Syria the same, BBC world in 2020. But it's the content, that delivery, the articulation, that way of thinking.
That way of preparation.
That way of preparations. Can you say that really left a mark in your life so much that when you got to tertiary school, it influenced your choice of course and career?
Definitely. You know how we always think lawyers are the vocal people out there who make noise and do whatever. It really did change my perspective. I must say also from my village, the people who could give you career advice would always be like, hey, dilo aradi maka, dilo aradi mudumo, stuff like that. And my mom just didn't like the idea, you know.
Yeah.
But when I got there, I got the perspective of people who were aspiring to be lawyers who'd simply say, look, Nagana, I'm interested in research. From my onset in this debate career, I've just been a member of this team to do research and research alone. And they do it so well. So that's why I realized it's just not about me getting out of this shell. It's about me learning this culture of study, this culture of reading and everything, embracing it. And those guys are very thorough, you know. They research the T. So I was so inspired to see someone who's like 15 years old doing that well in research, and I've taken it so well from them.
Love it. Yeah. Now, jumping into you joining University of Botswana, next thing, SRC president, next thing, I think your whole leadership season was just, I don't want to say a mess, but I'm trying to say a mess in a beautiful way, because I think you gave a lot of kids the voice. You were the voice to the voiceless children, you know. How was the experience? What pushed you from no confidence to Tautona?
It must have shocked you, right?
It killed.
Is it the same guy?
I had to call Elmo, what's his real name, Tawanda, to say, can you believe that Bacos is a whole university president with zero confidence? That man is leading and he's winning. I was so shocked.
Yeah, I recall. It was very interesting.
Very,
very, very interesting. But you know, I think it's about the people you surround yourself with. I think I would say people would look at you, for instance, and say, no, Tamdo is going to be bad influence for yada, yada, yada. But you'd be amazed at the things you can do for a person who doesn't have confidence. Legit. You recall how it's an the after party thing, and we were just chilling back. And I was like, nah, how is she doing that? You know, and those things rub off on the people you are around. So I surrounded myself with people who are just able to say, my nigga, you just need to come out and let yourself be. What are you going to lose at the end of the day after you express yourself? And you know, I discovered that the UB political scenario is not necessarily about the vocal politician, the audacious politician. It's really about how you're able to empathize with the people you represent. Because students want to see if you're able to look them in the face, understand the problem you have, and take it forward, bring a solution. I had a rapport with them. That's one thing I'm so proud about with my journey in the UBSRC. I related with people so well that even today at my law firm, I could say about 30% of the files that I handle, the matters that I handle, would be accounted for by people I've worked with and encountered Kilimo UBSRC. Even the parents to the students, they still call to say, how are you doing? How's the law firm doing? Stuff like that. Because it shows that there was a relationship beyond just politics, you know. And 𝗕𝗪cie, I think I got a chance to establish a very independent mind. Because as you know, you get affiliated when you're at UB. But Ghana, the affiliation shouldn't take you away from being able to say, I may be affiliated to you. I don't agree with this particular course of action. So I'm going to differ with you for this particular purpose. And it also fed into my ability as a lawyer, because as a lawyer, you need an independent mind more than anything, you know.
Yes. And speaking of you surrounding yourself with people that really fed into your energy positively, you were best friends with Beko. His name is Abednego, right? Where is he?
He's around. My boy's around, but I think he just doesn't like the
spotlight anymore.
No.
And back in the days, he liked the limelight more than you. And now he's just, the successful entrepreneur chilling. Flourish. Even when he's not trying to shine, he's shining. I love it. Now taking it all the way to you becoming Popcorn's dad.
Yes.
You should have seen how happy I was when you officially became Popcorn's dad. You know why?
Yeah.
Because you called her Popcorn before she was even there.
Yeah.
You've always been Popcorn's dad.
She's always been my popcorn.
How did you come up with Popcorn's dad?
It's gonna be a funny story to tell, eh? It's gonna be a funny story to tell. So I was very attached. I get it. When you're a kid, I was like 25 years old.
Yeah.
It was quite a shock. How am I gonna tell my mom this? When I was so then she welcomed the idea. Actually, she was very supportive. And that just gave me the ability to say, oh, okay, I should actually be involved as well. So from a month, did the scans, everything together. And now when they start doing those little movements, there'd be those popping sounds. And I was like, oh, she's cooking, actually, popcorn. So that's how the name came about.
Okay. That's very interesting to hear.
Yeah.
Imagine your parent is telling you the story of how you got your nickname and it's that intimate. Love it. But how can you say it's been raising a daughter for starters, right?
Yeah.
And you had a child at 25 and in shock that God trusted my generation to parent.
Yeah.
But that's a topic for
Because
another
how,
day.
man?
Because how, man? How has it been? More generation in it's really hard being ourselves. Nakana being a father, nakana being a mom, nakana being a successful lawyer, leader, friend, being present in all aspects of your life. How do you do it?
Look, it's been a very eye-opening journey. If I had the choice, the chance to make the decision again, I probably wouldn't make it. I definitely wouldn't make it, actually.
Fair enough.
But I've embraced it. I've loved it. Our generation, part of the attributes is there's a propensity to be in a co-parenting setup more than in a relationship. I wouldn't want to discuss those affairs generally because it would affect people who are not here to defend themselves anyway. But it's been a journey where you have to know what you, as a parent, are obliged to do for your child. We've had difficult childhoods in their own respect, and it's very unfair to bring someone to this world and take them through that trauma again. So I embraced it. I found a friend, a very good little friend who's broke and
with an expensive taste,
bro, and an attitude. But we've had so much fun. I stay with her full time.
Love it.
Predominantly because in the little time that I have with juggling the law firm and UB and other commitments, I want to be able to go home, find her asleep, take her and say, let's go sleep together. Spend those little few valuable moments together. Weekends, let's do something. It's good. It's good because we see them growing up, we see them learning to develop a character of their own and stuff like that, and most importantly to help them navigate emotions we couldn't navigate ourselves
when we were kids. Love it.
Lunch with your fave is brought to you by KFC. Finger licking good.
You tune into Lunch with Your Fave, proudly brought to you by KFC with your host, myself, Luhle, on The Good Life, happening every Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. And make sure that you keep updated with the other episodes on Yarona FM YouTube page. But while you're at it, don't forget to engage with me, +267 39 11066. Now, before I could move any further with our fave today right here in the studio, Bacos, we have a voice note from MT. I'm going to play it and give you this moment to attend to Mwanamai.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mmipi. I just wanted to ask Jorge, what inspired you to finally open your own legal practice? I mean, I've always considered you as the first person who will open their own practice. So what finally plummeted you or drove you to making that decision?
All right, there's your question, Mr. Mmipi. How did we get here?
Thanks a lot, MT. I'm going to be very honest, eh? Very, very honest. It's a cumulative number of reasons, personal and professional. The personal reasons are just that, look, the legal fraternity is very toxic. You could be the hardest worker, you could be the smartest guy in the room, you will not make it easily. It's very exceptional circumstances where you can get it through. It's just the way it is. Look, I don't want to point fingers to anyone. It's just generally how the practice is. Everyone's out there to look for their own interests, So I just got fed up with the nonsense and said, you know what? I think that I'm gonna start something that will personally point to me. If I'm toxic, then I'm toxic. I'll see how to figure that out, not to account for someone else's toxicity.
Love it.
On a professional level, it took me a while, definitely. I think I'm on my 6th or 7th year of practice. I'm not too sure. I'll check again. It took me a while because I needed to make sure I have the sufficient experience and professional etiquette and the knowledge of a market base to be able to sustain a law firm. It's a very serious thing to do, a law firm, because people come there with their problems that could have their life on the line, their livelihood on the line, their children on the line. So I don't want to go there and start learning. A law firm, So I knew I was ready because I had gained and amassed enough experience, and I was motivated to do that because then I knew I would personally be making a difference. That really is what inspired me.
Love it. Yeah. Oh my God, love it. There's another reason why he started that he didn't mention right now. Listen, he wouldn't have been bragging had he said this, but when you're born a leader, man, and you're going to take your time. Pregnancy is 9 months, but it doesn't mean just because been chilling now, been going through the necessary steps for that duration. So I really love your reasons because they're very concrete enough, and we could see the evidence now with you having your own law firm, and we can tell before you got here, you were really learning. Now I'm going to read Rose's WhatsApp text, and you can also read it for yourself right there in front of you. Mr. Man, we know you can sing. What a fafa! Don't you dare leave the studio yourself, Bella. Yes. Yeah, no, before I go to Phil's WhatsApp text, let's now talk about this part.
Yeah.
We started seeing you on a weekend now, Bacos social life.
Yeah.
You blew me away.
Yeah.
I have spent days, nights, weeks with you. Same room, same environment. I have never heard you sing like an angel. And then, what is that?
I like it. I just like singing. It's just that I don't do it a lot in public.
What?
I think I should really thank my friend Lebo, because if it weren't for her, I would like, why are you recording me? Matter of fact, why are you posting it?
Wow.
But then I just, just got the confidence to just keep on singing because she's that kind of person. She's your kind of person. She doesn't like it when you're good at something, when you like doing something, and you just keep on your little cuckoo. Yeah. So that's how, man.
So,
well, I used to sing a lot with my dad and my mom and at church and my grandma. Quite a lot, yeah.
No, but Caroline and benefit. When am I born? It's all right. Luhle is already representing you in the big city. Salako can Swazi and just represent the Kaolo. Don't worry. You're gonna come back a singer. You're gonna become a lawyer. You're gonna be all things right still from the village. Now, do you wanna do that little? Come on, Bacos.
I don't know. We'll try it at the end.
Okay, all right. Philly says your Bacos di brats the big mo industry ra o motivation when I come when a boss yaka unti medicetela bohanda. Facts on site because you are definitely the motivation I think we needed and we need in our industry. Hey, now moving right along to you, who you are right now. Earlier on, you talked about something about. How when I was growing up, I remember that's all my parents wanted me to become, a lawyer. And I was like, hey, my G, I want a private detective. Why FBI? FBI, you know? And I was in and out of that idea and illusion of wanting to be a lawyer. I think generally after when I started 𝗕𝗫chy school, where I studied, the debate wasn't taken as serious as Yarona. And even when we finished 𝗕𝗫chy school, I came to you guys at UB. That was the life. It was giving me the confidence. I think I lost my debate hunger at my 𝗕𝗫chy school, right?
Yeah.
Now, I grew up knowing that with lawyers, your social life cannot be anything close to Bacos' social life.
Yeah.
How do you balance the two? How do you become a whole total different person on your social life? And Monday morning, in your palms. How did you get there?
I think I'm a firm believer of context. Context means we could be at a funeral and I can't crack certain jokes. Because it's not the right moment, you know. Context is knowing when to do what, the right place and the right time for certain things, and it's all about setting boundaries. A lot of my friends, a lot of my family know that they can't ask me anything work related at a social setup, and neither will I bring it up. I've never been the guy to start bombarding people with laws and regulations at a social setup. We just totally forget everything. We'll meet on Monday. At work, same. I don't think that a lot of people who hang out with me over the weekend would believe it if they see me at the workplace.
They wouldn't, trust me.
It's just about boundaries to know I'm not going to have to worry about you reeking of alcohol on Monday morning when we get to court, because I don't do things like that. I know it ends at a certain point. On Monday, this is where we are. And truly speaking, it's also an issue of upbringing as well. We had to do a lot of balancing. You'd have to be Gomasimo on Friday, do cleaning and everything and heading all of those things, the pudi tawato and stuff like that. Sunday, you have to be back. Your uniform has to be clean. Monday, you have to be in class. Just after you're done with class, you have to go for the sports and all those extracurriculars. You'd underestimate the Tswana medium or government school setup, but it actually gave us a lot of ability to know, to keep to timelines and to know the context for which you're doing.
To be organized in your life also,
yeah,
hey?
Definitely. I'm not going to bore myself because I'm a lawyer.
Yeah.
I'm barely 30. Barely 30. If I have to step out in 𝗕𝗫𝗁, I will do it. Because I know at some point it's just going to have to end. And I grow up and stuff like that. So,
okay. Now, this is the part I've been meaning to talk to you about. And now that we are on air, I cannot say So, I was 17 at that time and you were 18, if I remember. Or I was 18, you were 19, somewhere there. I think I was 17, you were 18. And we were in Durban, right? And for sure we spent so much time together, like almost half a year. And I really, really liked you. And I feel like you could see that. But you liked somebody else.
I couldn't see anything.
You could.
I was an idiot. I could not see anything. And guess what? The person I liked did not like me back.
Oh, so
my nigga.
Did the person you want go with us at Durban?
No.
Oh, she didn't?
Yeah.
Eish.
And then I was like, what is life?
But I was in Durban with you.
My nigga, I was. And I guess I just.
Imagine our vows. They would have made sense. But if we've ever dated, do you think we would have gone far?
I think so. Definitely.
Don't lie because we are on air.
No, definitely. My nigga, I would never lie to you. Opposites attract. And I know because I've tended to go for girls who are introverts, but people who are able to like express themselves. Those are my kind of vibe. Even if it's not like dating, friendship wise, I sustain a lot of friendships with people who are able to express themselves.
I love it. You walked in here, somebody followed and said, "That's Bacos, my ex." I'm like, Anjani, now you're not Bacos' ex type. What is this? Because when I was 17 and I'm crushing on this guy and he sees we're smiling because this man brought me breakfast every morning. You remember I didn't know how to swim.
Yeah.
And then that one guy, I'm there, mama kheteng, auntie trying to kill me.
We rag.
And you were there to save me.
No, the vows would have been beautiful, man.
The vows would have been beautiful.
Romeo and Juliet.
Listen, Garden of Eden with Adam and I. In my next life, we're trying this. You're going to have me become a focused hand because where I'm at right now, I ain't trying to become an 8 to 5 and I work 3 hours because then I'm out.
Really?
I work at 12 to 3 p.m. on Yarona FM, Mondays to Friday. I'm done. Right? I think my parents, Mom, if you're listening, I'm genuinely not interested.
Really?
I remember graduating and I'm like, I need a gap year. I was not interested into going to a full-time job. I tried that. I remember when I got my resignation letter, they're trying to explain. I'm like, yeah, my G, I feel you. You don't even need to talk about it. What's my purpose in your place? And I think I am where I want to be, and an entrepreneur. 12 to 3. I'm doing Yarona FM. Before and after, I'm doing the butterfly, and that's it. That's my life. And fun fact: I'd never date in my industry.
Fair enough.
I get to jola are my bosses here.
And tell you what, speaking of your journey, like I've actually never imagined you in an 8 to 5 ever. I've always seen you to be. I'm gonna run my shit. I'm gonna control everything that I do, because you've never being bossed around.
Never.
And I think it was always your character to lead and not to bully.
Not to bully.
Like you stood up for those girls. You remember in Durban when they were like, nah. We can't be taking out the team. I did. Hey, I did. And then there was that time I was like, but my mom was right. I should be a lawyer because this is unfair treatment and I'm bringing justice. I should have. Anyway, there's this other girl. I'll send you her picture right after this, right? She's older than you, but she's been bothering me for years of how much she's in love with you. I don't know if she's listening back. If you're listening, I just told Bacos that you really like her and I'll like him, and I'll show him your picture. I think what I consider abona equipment, abona face card. It makes perfect sense. Believe me, you. Phil is also saying, hey, I feel you, Aisha. I used to crush this other girl, and I like I'm fan of your boy. If we were dating, you'd know. You'd see. Never be a secret.
It will never. Would go all out, because I believe in Adam and Eve, the Garden of Eden. Now, because for somebody who's very interested in, they've learned about you, where you're coming from. Because these days, I genuinely think you invest in somebody's service, background, upbringing. Now somebody's listening for the first time. They're here. You have your own. You're practicing, right?
Yeah.
You have your own law firm. Where can they find you, reach you, and engage with you professionally?
Mmipi attorneys is in Village, plot 54467. It's just opposite Riverwalk. We just started, so we really haven't uploaded a proper map to allow people to use Google Maps, for instance, but we're working on the website, and the website will have thorough directions. In the meantime, our interactive platforms are on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. We're also available full-time on WhatsApp. There's a dedicated officer who deals with the responses there. And I think one other thing I'd like to highlight is we're not really indoctrinated on making money and taking money away from people. There is a system which we're going to introduce that allows us to vet certain pro bono and pro dio cases we can assist with. Personally, I'm interested a lot in assisting vulnerable women and children, as well as young men and women who are subjected to different legal atrocities but don't have funds to access justice. So if you ever find yourself in a situation serious enough to need a lawyer, you should make a small write-up, submit it to our Facebook platform. The messages are purely private and confidential, so we won't let out that information, and that allows us to give back to the community. I've had instances where I've seen people growing up being manipulated and exploited because they didn't have legal representation, and part of my values and ethos is to avail that service to people who can. It doesn't mean you need to be poor or a pauper. Not affording legal services doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to drink konotwa.
Yeah, I like that. I like the clarity in that. We're going to go for a quick break, and right after that, we're going to send our last goodbyes, love and light to Bacos, our fave. Now, while you're at it, do engage further on +267391106. Bona, chance Q&A, +267391106.
Lunch with your fave is brought to you by KFC. Finger licking good.
And we have finally come to the end of the ride on Lunch with Your Fave, proudly brought to you by KFC and our vibe. Our fave with the most vibe. Our fave for today was Bacos, and this is the former University of Botswana president. I really genuinely don't remember anyone after him or before him. So 𝗕𝗫𝘁𝘂𝗵𝗵, the 2012-2013 former Botswana debate champion and representative, as well as the lawyer who is also practicing at his own law firm. My man is a lawyer, or my man as a lawyer at his own law firm. We have a WhatsApp text here from Stan. Stain. Hi, Bacos. This is Stain. You have been an inspiration to me, bro. I keep pushing Kobasco just so I can become like you. One day. And Kesa says, hi, Luhle. Bacos and ma ignorant. Yeah! Oh, I was like a crush on you. Marahumpian, Kemarata at a distance. I'll play us safe. As a Galabala, he has to sing for us. Please, love and light to the great man. What can you say to people who've been looking up to you and who still are? The likes of Stan, even upcoming, the whole region you're representing, or somebody with the same background as yours.
Shout out to you, Stain. Keep on pushing, my man. Look, I don't want to say the stereotypical things that work hard, pray hard, etc. I want to advise anyone to get rid of their biases, get rid of the little nuances that keep you back. So I get into this particular crowd, or knocking on alle gaps, I don't interact with that particular crowd. Those things are going to hold you back. The circles that you don't want to be a part of have a lot for you to learn, and also to reflect on the things that you can do better. I think that I've learned a lot more from people I thought don't share a similar background with me, and therefore we don't have the same things to interact with, more than those I grew up with. Those are the people who can take you out to that restaurant you've never been in, and you help try out different things. Exactly. So allow yourself to learn a lot of things. Be careful, although, about what you learn. And in your 20s, 18s, and early 30s, you should explore, but be very careful about the mistakes you make, because some of them can be very irreversible. So you'd want to learn with a little bit of a filter there and there. That's really just it. There's no formula. Hard work. Some of it is not just about hard work. It's just about how you network. They call them connections, not necessarily connections. It's networking. People give work to those who they know. They give opportunities to those who they know. I barely would want to hire someone I don't know. You don't
genuinely, and as we should, you should give a job to somebody that you know, and then we come here and we translate to standard ready connection. But to learn connecting here, and now you're blaming us already. Thank you so much, Bacos, for honoring the invite on Yarona FM on the Gola. This has been such an amazing, beautiful day. I'm really happy to be with you, and you're standing on the other side. I'm I
was just like, yes, and you're so good at your natural.
Oh, thank you so much. Looking forward to working with you in future. Looking forward to seeing you grow into the amazing man that you've been, and that you are, and that you will always be. Popcorn's dad. A huge congratulations to you once again, actually, for taking that leap of faith and starting your own law firm. Thank you so much. And for you, Wanamai, let's keep it rolling, man. We're jumping right into the last hour of the Girl Life Show with myself, Luhle. And I'm going to do my drip check in a minute on the socials. Make sure that you check out what I'm dressed on. And Evan so came through, because winter season is here. Your girl is looking all fly. Because do you have plans for today?
Not really.
I don't get out of the because my colleagues been on my case about how I don't have a social life. I went to Avani, I think Tuesday after work. The whole time. You want another one? Could you drink cranberry in one night? No, but today, because I'm looking fine, I'm looking dead. I have a meeting at 3:30. Right after that, I'm gonna pin you my location, or you pin yours.
Lunch with Your Fave is brought to you by KFC. Finger licking good.